The creative process is the dialogue between me and the material, and that's the part that I enjoy the most. People ask me if I feel bad when I sell them and they go out the door, but at that point I've pretty much almost lost interest in it. It's done for me, and I'm ready to start the next one, and I'm more than happy to see somebody else enjoy it and live with it. But you know, my time with it, I think, is done. You know, as far as working the material, sometimes, you know, you that's what makes the piece. I've messed things up, broken off pieces, and what I thought at the time were errors, and then that redirected the design and the piece, and actually what I came out with in the end was better than my original plan. So I think that's that kind of manipulation is where the piece comes from. You know, if you were to just get the design and shoehorn the material into the design, you wouldn't get the same kind of, I think, artistic look that you get otherwise. I try and blend a kind of symbiotic mixture of the old with the new. I try and take kind of the more modern live edge approach, and then try and use that to kind of echo forms from the classical furniture past, drawing, you know, as far back as Greek and Roman, but mostly focused on kind of 1800 Europe. The Sheridan and the, you know, such movements as that, using a lot of decorative, colorful veneers, and basically trying to work my designs in with the natural wood, where in the end it looks like the tree grew for my specific purpose, or maybe my purpose was just perfectly fit to the tree. Basically, where it looks like in the end both kind of evolved together. I want it to be a cooperation between me and the board, or whatever board I'm using. That's why oftentimes I have to do one-off, and you know, each board is pretty much custom fit for the piece. Oftentimes I'll sit with a board for years before something actually gets made from it. Every board does. Some of them are harder to find. That one up there, it's going to be a while before I figure out how to use that in a good way. But that's probably going to be an amazing piece one day whenever it... Call that the mascot of the studio, just because that's the most eclectic board I've ever found in my life, and probably won't be able to top. That's an Oregon apple tree that I've been trying to figure out how the tree even looked. I can't even picture. Most of the times you can see a tree in a board, but I have no idea how that thing grew. A lot of it, I have a couple of personal one-man kind of mill operations on the periphery, who they come upon trees and mill their own wood, and I get a lot of my material off of them. I just kind of keep an eye. If they get anything eclectic, they usually know. I'll come up and snatch what most people consider junk. And a lot of times I keep my eye out for street trees and yard trees that are coming down. And they're kind of like opening up a gemstone, you know, you get this raw creature and you don't know what's going to be on the inside until you cut it open, and it's always a surprise. It's Sometimes it's wonderful and sometimes it's a disappointment, but that's kind of what drives it, I think, further. I do see the wood as living. The wood never dies, even as a board. It continues to take in moisture and release moisture and move and shape. And I have to consider that when building a piece of furniture. It has to be able, every piece of wooden furniture in your house is currently moving a little bit, you know, but enough that if it's made incorrectly, it can tear the piece apart. So they're kind of the skeletons of creatures. You have to treat them as organic material and not just as material.